Fox 10 Extra News at 7 starts now.
The Phoenix City Council meeting gets heated. The discussion about police reform and what the mayor is saying. And 2 students under arrest for school threats right here in the Valley. You will hear a threatening voicemail that a 12-year-old kid left for a teacher. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Ellen McNamara. A hotel in Phoenix is seized and shut down by local and federal law enforcement. A new indictment is accusing the Royal Inn owners of being aware of prostitution, drug use, and drug dealing throughout the hotel. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach has more.
The Royal Inn was raided this morning by the FBI and U.S. Marshal's Office alongside the Phoenix Police Department. Right now, the doors and windows being boarded up by metal plates. Officials telling us that this hotel was a hotspot for major crime in this neighborhood. It was a 2-year operation that led to this shutdown.
This seizure today of the Royal Inn will be a huge contributor to being able to reduce the crime in that area, since that was a major hub of where a lot of things were happening.
The 44-count indictment lists 7 defendants. The charges: maintaining a drug-involved premises or operating a drug house, and violating the Federal Travel Act and money laundering.
For several years, they were knowingly and willingly operating an establishment that facilitated the sexual exploitation of people and the sale of dangerous drugs in the community.
The indictment states the owner and operator of the Royal Inn was aware of all the illegal activity and was profiting off of it. From January 2017 to May 2023, there were 677 cash deposits to Sarong Hospitality, the property owners, totaling $1.7 million.
They essentially operated a marketplace for illicit activity located steps away from a neighborhood where children were walking to school every morning. And they profited for years while turning a blind and uncaring eye to the families that live in that neighborhood.
The indictment alleges Varsha Patel listed his daughter and wife on the bank account for Sarong Hospitality, alleging they used that money for a mortgage on a home in California and day-to-day expenses.
Crime is like squeezing water. It's going to go somewhere else. We just have to find where that next place is going to be.
Officials are calling this a major victory for everybody that lives, works, and goes to school in this neighborhood. One person has been arrested. That was the maintenance worker at the hotel. 6 other warrants are pending. In Phoenix tonight, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Tonight at the Phoenix City Council meeting, members talked about the police department and the changes made in response to the recent DOJ investigation. Tonight, the council unanimously passed all proposed measures, and it stems from the 126-page report from the DOJ alleging excessive force, discrimination, and unlawful detention of homeless people. The mayor, who along with the council does not want to sign a consent decree that was recommended by federal authorities, she addressed the council.
Department of Justice investigation is on the minds of many in our community, and I want to make sure everyone knows the steps we're taking to improve public safety in Phoenix and how we're implementing the recommendations the Department of Justice has suggested.
When it came time for the public comment period, the City Council got an earful from members of our community claiming a lack of accountability on the police force.
There is no reason why, if an officer fails to render aid as provided by the policies of the department, that they should be able to retain their job. And that is what's happening.
I have been living a nightmare for 10 years after Officer almost killed me with his bare hands in a fit of rage because he thought I called the police too many times.
Since becoming homeless 8 years ago, it seems like it's a criminal to be a homeless person anymore. I stayed at the SOS lot that they mentioned earlier. I was there like 3 weeks ago, and when they exited me, they threw all my belongings away. All I have is the clothes on my back.
Everyone who spoke during that public comment period all disagreed with the mayor, who said that progress has been made. Some of those who came up to speak tonight called the police department corrupt and unable to police itself. 2 arrests have been made in connection with 2 different school threats in Buckeye and also in Surprise. In the Buckeye case, police say that a 12-year-old kid left a voicemail to a former teacher. Listen.
This is a 5th grader at Desert Sunset Elementary. I'm gonna shoot up your classroom. Better watch your back.
Yeah, obviously police don't think that's funny. And in surprise, a 14-year-old is under arrest for making threats toward Valley Vista High School. Police say that teen admitted to making the violent threats and was booked into a juvenile facility. As school threats like these happen more often around the country and across the valley, we spoke with Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell.
Not just acts of violence, but threats of violence that are really trending upward. I'm not blaming the parents because I don't know, maybe they did, but parents really need to talk to their kids about this.
Mitchell says that charges could include up to a Class 1 felony, including terrorist threats and interfering with an educational institution. Someone stole a bronze statue from a cemetery in Mesa, and police are asking for the public's help for any information that can solve this case. The 4-foot-tall statue is worth about $20 grand. And for about the last decade, it has marked the grave of Constance Wayland at Mountain View Cemetery, who passed away in 2012. Her husband worked with the cemetery to commission that work of art and have it made in Italy. It was bolted down by steel pins into a granite base along with a metal bracket.
Makes me wonder what's going on in the world around us today. Like, what is happening that people are turning to not just theft, which is horrible on its own, but to feel the need to steal from the dead.
Police believe the theft involved more than one person, and most likely they would have driven a truck onto the property before the gates of that cemetery are locked at dark. If you know anything about who stole that statue, give Mesa Police a call. Bullet holes are seen at a local campaign office for the Democratic Party. It happened in a Tempe shopping center near Priest and Southern Avenue. Now, thankfully, no one was in the office at the time, so it's being investigated now as property damage. The Mesa Forensic Unit is helping Tempe police out with the investigation, but anyone with information is being encouraged now to contact the Tempe Police Department. In one battleground state, absentee ballots are going out right now. North Carolina would have been the first state to send out mail-in ballots, but saw a 2-week delay to get the name of RFK Jr. off of their ballot and reprint new ones. They are one of the 39 states where you are allowed to vote by mail and do not require an eligible reason for not going in person. Early voting in our state will begin on October the 9th. And polling in North Carolina is neck and neck. Donald Trump has a 0.5% lead over Vice President Harris. 16 electoral votes are up for grabs in the Tar Heel state. Some political experts believe that a scandal involving the lieutenant governor, Republican Mark Robinson, could impact voter turnout in that state. And be sure to sound off in our battleground poll question for the week. This week, we are asking about what expense is concerning you the most: housing, food, gas, or childcare, or none of them. Scan the QR code to weigh in, and then you can watch Fox's political show Battleground every weeknight at 11 p.m. on Fox 10. Coming up here, more fighting in the Middle East as Israel finds themselves battling another country. Details when we come back. And another victim coming forward with accusations against rapper Sean Combs. What she's claiming.